Yes, you are listening to the Ready, Set, Retire radio podcast with Steve Anzuoni. My name is Jessica Forkel. Get more details on the website at fairwayfinancial.net. People are living longer, and that means we're in retirement longer. One study from John Hancock even suggests a 40-year retirement could be the norm. Steve, what are your thoughts on this? Is 40 years rational? What do you think?
It could happen. I mean, especially if people retire, in their early 60s. I mean, it could happen. I don't think it's a scare tactic at all. I mean, I have clients who live to 100. My grandmother lived to 101.
Wow.
My dad was 91, and my mom's still living at 90. So people are living longer, and they do need income for that period of time, for as long as it takes. And the scary part is the pensions that people were used to back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s are all but gone. And that was the backstop. It was the pension and the Social Security that got people peace of mind and security into retirement. But now a major piece of that has disappeared. And the problem is that most people are not prepared with how to arrange an income plan. I mean, look, it's tough enough to save a whole bunch of money, right, while you're working and having other things going on. So the way I feel about it is if you do your part and you save the money, I'll do my part and make sure you don't run out of money, okay, because that's my job and what I'm very good at and have been for decades, okay? So there are vehicles out there that accomplish exactly that and have been around for, 50, 75, 100 years, these products, okay? So they're not new. They've been time tested. And I love when people call into the show and they're like, all right, Steve, what is this thing you're talking about? Because I have a 401k and I've never heard of it and they've never talked about it. And the problem is they have heard of it, but they don't talk about it because it's not part of their plan, Jess. A typical 401k is a mixture of mostly mutual funds, not even individual stocks and bonds. It's made up of mutual funds and electronically traded funds and things like that are investments in the market. And by the way, that's the norm. That's what people invest in. And while you're working, you're thinking, okay, it's there, and even though the market can go up, which is great, and down, they're not worried about it so much when it goes down because they're still working. They have the cash flow and the income. But what you have to focus on is, I have this pile of money, and understand it's just a pile of money. It's nothing else. It's not a retirement income plan. It's a pile of money. And obviously, the bigger the pile, the better shape you're going to be in going forward, obviously. But when I work with people and I sit with them and I say, how much income do you need and how long do you think that money's going to last? That's when people get a little unsettled because they don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. They know they have $1 million, $1 million, whatever they have, but it's not answering the question of, can it replace their paycheck? And if so, how long is that guaranteed? And that's the biggest stumbling block when people go into retirement, and one that they're not really qualified to deal with. I mean, frankly, they're qualified to save money. I have a 401k too, and the idea is to put as much money in there as you can, obviously. It's my job to help turn that pile into a plan of action. Here's what we're going to need in the future, roughly. We'll never know the exact number. But here's a base. So everyone knows they have Social Security, Jess. So we talk about that, how it works, and what the number will be roughly when you're 67 or if you prefer it to 70. We talk about those options, which are very important. And then we say, okay, how much of a layer on top of that? Like, what do you need to get by, to stay where you are in the house, for example, or do that? So we kind of come to a rough idea. And from that number, we cull out a piece of the pile of money and create that retirement income plan, that future paycheck that you can look at today and know will be there for you in the future. And for a lot of people, when they see that, that adds greater peace of mind to their future plan. And that's the whole idea.
I love that. Yeah, creating your own personalized income plan. You mentioned something a few moments ago. You know, a big pile of money is not an income plan. So while in your mind you go, in my 401k, I have this much, and then over here I got this much, and I got this much over here. Essentially, just visualize it. It's a big pile of cash. Well, that's great, but now we got to create a plan of what to do with this cash, right? An action plan. You got to be proactive. That's why we talk about the income plan here. Steve will walk you through it step by step. It is personalized. It is customized, made just for you. That phone number, 508-552-3230. 508-552-3230. Get more details on the website at fairwayfinancial.net. All right, Steve, I saw this Social Security question from a money.com reader. They said they don't need the benefits, but they plan to claim it at their full retirement age anyway, and then they're going to invest the checks and let the money grow. And when I read this, I go, well, this is either a great idea or the stupidest idea. I mean, it's I can't decide here. So what do you think?
Well, it's exactly that. It's either or. If you say that you're going to take it, and you take it and you invest it properly, it could be a great idea. Of course, it's not that simple. It never is that simple, because you got to factor in, is taking the Social Security going to trigger more taxes? Are you taking it at full retirement age? Okay, and if you're taking it early, as we're talking about at 62, let's say, and if you're still working, that's going to backfire on you. Because if you're making more than $25,000, you're going to be giving most of it back anyway. Remember, it's for most people their only pension, if you will, when they retire. It's their only source of guaranteed income. And you might not trust the government, and I can't blame you for that part. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it has been here for a very, very long time, and it's going to be here. Now they can change it in the future, and if they change the formula, then yeah, maybe it might warrant, I'm going to take it now. But you've got to, this is why, Jess, I talk so much about the plan and having a plan. And don't just take one piece of everything you have and decide to do something with that without considering everything else you have, because it could mess it up. So you have to be logical, methodical about doing it. And I've helped hundreds of people over the years figure this out, whether you should take it now or defer it and wait. And I think the safest thing is, if you're not sure, don't. Because you can always do it the next month or the next month or the next month. But if you're unsure at all, I would suggest you do not take it until you are 100% sure and you have a plan. So that if I look at you and say, okay, why are you taking this again? Then you could give me a great logical answer. And when you're ready to do that, then you're probably ready to take it. But for most folks, especially if you're still working, don't touch it until you're at least full retirement age, which for people born after 1960 is 67. So that's my opinion on that. And if you would like to learn more about it, you know, we have a chapter in our book on it. And I'm happy to meet with you and talk to you either in person or over the phone about it, because it is a very sensitive, very important issue. Because once you take it, that's it. You know, it's irrevocable. But you can stop the check. But you know what, Jess? In over 30 years, I've never seen anybody, not one person, take it and stop it 6 months or 8 months later. Never. Not once.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I got to say about that subject.
Well, you know, and you talk about Social Security and trusting the government there. A lot of folks worried, will Social Security even be there when it's time for me to claim it? I think it will be in some capacity. I think we're seeing, the cost and the check may be diminished a little bit. All that to say that Social Security is part of that income plan that you are working towards and working on as you get closer to retirement. Where does it fall within that income plan? Well, it's different for everybody. Again, if you'd like to come in for this personalized income plan, talk about Social Security, what are those options. When and how should you claim? How does it factor into that income plan? We'll do that for you today, and we'll also give you a copy of Steve's book, Tee Up Your Retirement. That phone number, 508-552-3230, 508-552-3230. The website, fairwayfinancial.net.
You know, that's why I'm a huge fan of not having all your eggs in one basket, Jess. If people have different piles, then they have different ways of accessing money with different tax rules. IRAs obviously are 100% taxable. There's no, getting around that. Roths are 100% tax-free. Then you have CDs and money markets, which of course are taxed as you go. But they're safe, they're in banks, so people use those as a means of safety and maybe getting access. Okay, I mean, there's a reason why there's so many different ways to save. It's contrary to popular belief, it's not just to confuse the public. It's to give people options as to how they want to save, how the taxes work. Do you pay now? Do you pay later? Mm-hmm. You have all those options. So that's why it's so important to me that you work with all the pieces to make sure they fit together. It's like a puzzle. Think about it, a puzzle. When you put a puzzle together, most people start with the edges, right? Because they have the flat ends, and it's easy to figure out, and they go around, they do the edge of the puzzle, then they start to fill in the middle. And the edge of the puzzle really is the income plan, the Social Security, if you have a pension, good for you, and the guaranteed income plan. To me, that is the most solid piece of the retirement plan. So you want to put that in place and then look at the other pieces and say, okay, why do I have money here? I mean, have you ever asked yourself, why am I in this particular account? And that's a good practice to do, and not just throw it there. Figure out why you put it there. What made you do it? Did you sell a house? You weren't sure what to do with the money, so you stuck it in the bank, which, by the way, is a good move, I think, in my opinion. Until you're sure, keep it somewhere until you figure it out. So that's what I mean by helping people walk through the pieces of a retirement plan and try to provide logic as to where it is, why it's there, and what the tax impact is on the money. So there you go.
And just to be clear, Steve, everything you're talking about right now, these are topics that you talk about in great depths and obviously more detail when folks come in for this personalized income plan. Is that right?
That's exactly right. That's what we do. We just have a conversation. Like I had a gentleman come in earlier this week who's listened to the show for a long time. And thanks for coming in, Peter. No last names here, but I appreciate you coming by. And he had lots of pieces. It was excellent. And we're going to talk about why the pieces are there, how they can work together from a tax standpoint, from an income standpoint when we get back together. But that's the purpose of it, and that's why he came in. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are in the same boat. They've saved, and they got money here, money there, money over here, and I think that's awesome. But now my job is to say, is that the best place for it from a tax standpoint? Is that where you want to be long term? So we kind of get more into the details of why the money's here, where it is, and I try to make it work as tax efficiently as possible for people. So that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. And as you see, all these different moving parts, they all lead back to this income plan, folks. So again, if you'd like to come in, sit down with Steve, two options here. If you currently have an income plan, you're wanting another set of eyes just to say, hey, we're on the right track, or hey, you're missing this, or this has changed. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you another set of eyes on there with Steve. If you are in the planning process wondering, how do I begin? How do I start putting this income plan together that's personalized for me? Again, Steve will walk you through each and every single step. That phone number, again, 508-552-3230, 508-552-3230. That website, fairwayfinancial.net. Real quick, Steve, as we've talked about, we have people that call us and go, oh my gosh, I've been listening to the show for 10 years, 5 years. And we also have folks that go, I just discovered you last week. So real quick, if you missed the show, by the way, you can always catch up on our podcast. Just look up Ready, Set, Retire Radio, pretty much anywhere, Apple, Spotify. It's also on Steve's website, fairwayfinancial.net. But again, for those that are new to the show, Steve, What do you think, in just like an elevator pitch, what do you think makes you different, bigger, better than those guys down the road? What's your process say about you and your practice there?
God gave me incredibly good looks. No.
Well, that's true.
I think what separates us, Jess, is that we are a family business. And, my wife's been working with me for a long time, and we've got, the staff of Kelly and Kimberly. And when people come in, they can feel that. There's an instant relaxation when they come into the office. And that's the whole idea, why I want people to come in and see us and how we work as a team. And, of course, having over 35 years of experience doesn't hurt either. I just want to do a great job. I want to help people get to where they need to go. And I guess so to kind of sum it up, I just think that I've been through a lot of what folks out there are trying to get a handle on. Okay? I have that practical experience so that if they're asking me, Steve, how do I get from here to here? I have the knowledge and the practical application to answer that question. It's not coming out of a book. It's coming out of the school of experience. It's calling lived it. I understand that everyone is different. And so when people come in and say, oh, Steve, I don't know if I have enough money for you, or I don't know if I'm the right candidate, I stop them on the spot. And I say, look, that's not what this is about. Okay, whether you have 100,000, a million, 2 million, whatever the number is, my job is to help you make the most of what you saved and create an income for you down the road that's going to help you get to where you need to be.
Get more details on the website, fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
Steve Anzuoni is a licensed insurance provider by the Division of Insurance and is not registered as an investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve Anzuoni, Massachusetts Insurance License 3851053. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Anzuoni is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Anzuoni is licensed in your state, please call 508-398-3337.